Hey guys, Ramit Sethi here, author of the New York Times bestseller, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Today in this short video, I want to share the automation system that I built over the last 10 years, the one that I use myself to spend less than 1 hour a month on my finances. That means all my bills are paid on time, I never get any late fees, everything goes exactly where it needs to go. Savings automatically get filled up every month, money goes to my investment accounts, and best of all, you'll be able to have guilt-free spending. So if you want to buy those shoes or those jeans or go out to dinner and buy appetizers, you're going to be able to do that. So let's get started. Most of us make our money from our paycheck. So here is our paycheck. Now the money is going to come to you, and the first thing I want to recommend to you is timing. I'm going to assume that you get paid on the first of the month. I also want you to call up the bills that you have, like your cable company, etc., change those to being paid on the first of the month. It's very simple. Just give them a call, say, hey, Comcast Cable, I want to make sure that I get billed on the first of the month, not the 18th of the month. That's going to become very important, and I'll show you why. So now you get paid on the first of the month. What happens to this money? For most of us, it goes directly into our checking account, and then we just spend it, and then at the end of the month, we're like, oh, I guess I spent that much. It's going to be very different for you. What you're going to do first, before you even see that money, is you're going to send a certain percentage of it to your 401k. I like to send about 5%. So without doing anything, you are automatically going to be saving for retirement using that 401k. And this is very easy. You simply go to your HR person, you say, look, I want to commit some money here, I want to contribute every month. Can you help me set up the automatic deduction? They're going to do that for you. It's no problem. Now, how much should you be sending to your 401k? There's something I call the taxonomy of investing, and I cover this in detail in my book. For the purposes of today, I'm going to use some very simple figures. Let's just say 5% of your paycheck. Very simple. Okay, now you've sent 5% of your money to your 401k. What happens next? Now you're going to send this money to your checking account. This is where all the magic happens. Think of it like your email inbox. Now the way you do this is automatic, of course. Go to your HR person and tell them you want to set up direct deposit. Now this is great for a couple of reasons. One, you really don't want to have to be going to your bank every month depositing your paycheck. It's just a pain. Two, when you set up direct deposit, you're actually going to get a bunch of benefits from your bank, like free checking, etc. Now, as for which checking account do I like, I'm actually going to tell you the exact accounts that I use. I like Schwab Investor Checking. It's a great account because not only do you get free checking, which frankly everybody should get, you get interest. You also get 100% ATM refunds. That means, if it's 3:45 a.m. and you need to somehow withdraw $200 from a liquor store for whatever reason, no problem. You're going to get that fee refunded to you. That's my problem that I tend to have a lot. So now you've got the remaining 95% of your paycheck sent into your email inbox, your checking account. What happens from there? I'm going to send 5% to another investing account, a Roth IRA. Now, I cover exactly why you should have a Roth IRA, etc. in my book, but for today's video, let's just assume you have a Roth IRA. You're going to send another 5% to your Roth. Great, this is happening automatically, all right? Now, you're also going to send 5% to your savings account. What's happening here? The crux of the beauty of this is in your savings account, you can actually set up sub-savings accounts. Now, I use a savings account called ING Direct, and within that, I have sub-savings accounts like saving for a wedding, saving for a car. Stupid mistakes is a big one. I know that every year I make a few stupid mistakes like traffic tickets, etc. So I save for that. And I break those down as you can see in this diagram. What have we done so far? So far, we haven't even talked about spending. We've only talked about what to do with the money we make. Now, this is great. Without doing a thing, you have funded your 401k, you've funded your Roth IRA, and you have funded your savings account. And it is all automatic. Remember, to get your Roth IRA filled, you simply go to your Roth IRA company, you say, look, I want to contribute X% every month or X dollars every month, and they're going to make that happen for you every month. Same thing with your savings account. I want to contribute $500 to this sub-savings account, $100 to this sub-savings account. Automatically, you've done nothing, but it's working for you. This is why once you set up this system, you can spend less than an hour a week or sometimes less than an hour a month because everything just runs the way it should. Now let's talk about expenses. We all spend money, so what happens here? The first thing you need to know is your credit card. Now, I like to use as much as I can of my spending on my credit card. Why? Because number one, I earn points. I use a Starwood Amex. You can use whatever card you like. I recommend more on my website. The other thing is it lets me track my spending very carefully. So I don't have to track all this cash in my head. It's just on there, and I can use a service like Mint to automatically track and categorize my spending. Now, one thing I like to do on my credit card is automate as many payments as possible. Let's say, for example, that you have a Netflix account. So I would go to Netflix, I would type in my credit card number, and I would say, bill me every month. Perfect. I don't have to send bills anymore. So virtually all of my bills are automatically paid through my credit card. And your credit card, the way it pays itself is it reaches into your checking account, it pays off those bills, and you have nothing to worry about. Let's talk about miscellaneous bills. There are some bills that we are not able to automatically pay through our credit card. For example, rent. Sometimes we have a little old lady for a landlord and she doesn't have a sophisticated credit card processing center. God, I know, such a pain. So what do? We have to somehow pay her. Well, the beautiful thing here is it's a predictable expense. We know that every month our rent is going to be $400 or $800 or $2,000 or whatever it may be. So what you can do is go into your checking account, set up bill pay, all banks have this now, and say on the 30th of the month, I want a check to be sent to my landlord in the amount of $850. Again, totally automatic. It will always be delivered at the right time. You will never have to worry about writing a check again. Perfect. Now, there's one more thing here. Guilt-free spending. Now, if you're making your savings account, if you're making your investment account fuller, this is a beautiful time to enjoy guilt-free spending. See, most of us, we don't even think about filling up our savings accounts and our investment accounts, so we spend first. In this case, you've done all the right things automatically. So if you want to buy a $200 pair of jeans and you can afford it, or a $300 trip to Vegas for the weekend, or $1,000, whatever it may be, do it. I am not the person who's going to tell you don't spend money on lattes. That advice is ridiculous and it doesn't even work. I'm the one who's going to say, look, if you want to buy a $500 pair of clothes, whatever, great. Let me show you how to automate your money so you can do that. And that's what guilt-free spending is about. Finally, cash withdrawals. You know, sometimes you're just going to need to use cash. Maybe it's $100 a week, $100 a month, whatever. That's fine. You can use your debit card. You'll also notice that in this diagram, I did not really talk about debit cards. That's because I don't really like them. I prefer to use my credit card because they have a lot more consumer protection. All right? So that's how all these systems work together. And now I want to talk about the last part, and that is timing. Timing is something a lot of people ignore. They think, oh, I just set up this system. Well, how many of us have gotten late fees because we paid something late? Now, in this system, everything is automatic, but the one key is you have to make sure that the timing works. Here's how you can break it down. On the first of the month, you get paid. Let's just assume that. On the first of the month, your credit card bill also arrives. All right, now you have about 2 weeks to pay this off, but how do you make that happen? Just call up your credit card and tell them, hey, I want my bill to arrive on the first of the month. Perfect. On the second of the month, your paycheck is going to pay your 401k, as we talked about. It's also going to direct deposit the remainder of that paycheck into the checking account. Again, I talked about direct deposit and why it's important. On the 5th of the month, your checking is going to put money into your Roth IRA and your savings account. Now, why the 5th? I left a few days of grace period in case something happens on the 2nd of the month. All right? So here, I'm making the system flexible enough that if something goes wrong, you're not going to get hit with a late fee. On the 7th of the month, your credit card is going to pay itself off by drawing money from the checking account. Okay? This is the beauty of the system, and this took me years and years to develop and test with thousands of people. What this does is it gets rid of the fear of, oh my God, if I automate this system, I'm going to miss all these bills. I'm not going to know what's going on. That's not true at all. All of your vendors, your credit cards, your banks, they're all going to send you an email saying, you have a scheduled payment on this date, etc. So you're going to be in control. But the beauty of this, the part that's based on psychology is if we set up the right defaults, the right things will happen. So yeah, you'll have control, and if you want to stop a certain payment, you can do that. But by default, if you do nothing, your bills will get paid, your 401k will get funded, your Roth IRA will get funded, your savings account will get stuffed with money, and you're left with guilt-free spending. That's the beauty of the I Will Teach You to Be Rich automation system. Now, one final thing that I want to encourage you to do, set a central place where you can store all of your accounts and passwords. This is really important. Just set up, it could be an Excel sheet, it could be using a third-party password protection plugin, whatever you want to use. I like to set up a simple spreadsheet that says something like checking account, URL, login, and password. This way, if I ever want to go in and tweak certain accounts, I have one place to go where I know how to do it rapidly. The beauty of this system is that if I asked a random person on the street, hey man, want to go take a trip to Thailand in November? Most people would have no idea how to pay for it. They just would have no idea. And I Will Teach You to Be Rich student will say, that sounds great. Let me simply divert 1% that's currently going to my stupid mistakes account to my vacation account. And they will automatically fill up that account so that in 2 months or 6 months, they will have enough money to go to Thailand. Now, I cover all the rest of this automation system in my book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, which is a New York Times bestseller. And if you're interested in learning more about how to negotiate a higher salary, how to earn more money on the side, or even how to be more productive, I cover all this at iwillteachyoutoberich.com. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.